Justin doesn't like me making him pay up on NATO. Trump jokingly blames Trudeau for Canada's national public broadcaster cutting his cameo from Home Alone 2 while furious Don Jr. slams it as absolutely pathetic. Trump appeared to tease Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Thursday. The president tweeted from Mar-a-Lago, "I guess Justin T doesn't much like my making him pay up on NATO or trade. The movie will never be the same. Just kidding," he added in a second tweet. Canada's public broadcaster aired Home Alone 2, Lost in New York on Tuesday. Christmas Eve broadcast left out scene in which the president makes a cameo. Twitter users blasted CBC, saying omission was politically motivated censorship. CBC says it frequently edits films to allow for commercial time when in format. Trump appears in film as himself as Macaulay Culkin's character is in Plaza Hotel. Don Jr. blasted the CBC, saying it suffers from Trump derangement syndrome. By Valerie Edwards and Ariel Zilber for DailyMail.com. Published 2:37 Greenwich Mean Time, the 27th of December 2019. Updated 13:01 Greenwich Mean Time, the 28th of December 2019. Donald Trump teased Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Thursday after the president was cut out of a scene from Home Alone 2 by the country's public broadcaster. "I guess Justin T doesn't much like my making him pay up on NATO or trade," Trump tweeted from Mar-a-Lago, where he is enjoying the holiday with his family. "The movie will never be the same. Just kidding," he added in a second tweet. Earlier on Thursday, Canada's national public broadcaster was roasted on social media by Trump supporters who were outraged over the decision to delete the scene from its Christmas Eve broadcast. In the sequel for the 1990s smash hit Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin's character mistakenly boards a plane to New York while his family flies for Christmas vacation to Florida. Scroll down for video. Donald Trump left teased Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, right, on Thursday after the president was cut out of a scene from Home Alone 2 by the country's public broadcaster. "I guess Justin T doesn't much like my making him pay up on NATO or trade," Trump tweeted from Mar-a-Lago, where he is enjoying the holiday with his family. "The movie will never be the same. Just kidding," Trump wrote in a second tweet. Viewers in Canada watching Tuesday's Christmas Eve broadcast of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York noted that the screening excluded Trump's cameo scene from the 1992 film, starring Macaulay Culkin, who is seen left alongside Trump. While in New York, the lost Kevin McAllister runs through the lobby of the Plaza Hotel, which at the time was owned by Trump. In the scene, he asks Trump, then aged 45 and a huge Manhattan celebrity, "Where's the lobby?" To which the billionaire owner of the hotel replies, "Down the hall and to the left." The short scene was cut by the CBC, which is the nation's taxpayer-subsidized television and radio conglomerate. DailyMail.com has reached out to the CBC for comment. The broadcaster did tell the website comicbook.com that the decision to leave the scene out of Tuesday's screening had nothing to do with politics. As is often the case with features adapted for television, Home Alone 2 was edited to allow for commercial time within the format, the CBC said in a statement. The scene with Donald Trump was one of several that were cut from the movie as none of them were integral to the plot. These edits were done in 2014, when we first acquired the film and before Mr. Trump was elected president. According to the CBC, a total of 8 minutes was cut from the original movie. The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, the nation's taxpayer-funded television and radio network, says the edit was done to make the film fit into its commercial-friendly format. Donald Trump Jr., the president's eldest son, accused CBC of suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. One Trump supporter speculated that two-faced Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau may have been behind the move. Another Trump-supporting Twitter user wrote, "Chinese President Xi Jinping would be proud." Another Twitter user said the decision to edit out the scene was petty and Bush League. Another Twitter user said the slight against Trump is just another reason to defund the CBC. Brad Trost, a former Conservative member of Parliament, said this episode shows the CBC continually gets away with politically charged bias. They're so triggered by him that they had to edit him out of the film, wrote Brian Fournier for the CBC. To edit an iconic movie to make a petty political point not only show bias, it shows over-the-top stupid and dangerous bias, tweeted another Twitter user. The edit was not well received by supporters of the president, including his eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., who retweeted a link to a news story which ran the headline, "Absolutely pathetic." He continued, "The liberal media like its CBC is where Trump derangement syndrome manifests itself fully. Imagine being so pathetic in your quest to attain some BS level of wokeness that you need to cut out a scene that is probably one of the most famous cameos of the era? Imagine being so triggered that you can't even leave a Christmas movie alone without editing. This is what we are up against in 2020. This is a filter by which most people receive their news. This is why it's not a fair fight, but this is also why we will win. People see through this crap and are fed up of it. The media should go register as a lobbyist for the leftists. Their bias is so flagrant they don't even pretend to hide it anymore. They prove every day that they really are the enemy of the people. Another Twitter user wrote, Canadian government-funded TV channel is so triggered that they cut Trump's cameo sick from Home Alone 2 while airing it over Christmas. I bet two-faced Trudeau made the call directly to the CBC and demanded they cut the scene. Or maybe just black it out. The tweet about the two-faced Trudeau is a reference to an incident which took place during a gathering of NATO leaders at Buckingham Palace in London on December 3. Amateur video that went viral on social media showed Trudeau, French President Emmanuel Macron, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte appearing to mock Trump. Trudeau, who was not aware he was being filmed, could be heard saying, Macron was late because Trump takes a 40-minute press conference off the top. The Prime Minister then said, you just watched his team's jaws drop to the floor. After watching the viral clip, Trump tweeted that he would leave the summit without holding a scheduled press conference, bringing an acrimonious end to the military alliance's 70th anniversary gathering. The president wrote at the time, when today's meetings are over, I will be heading back to Washington. We won't be doing a press conference at the close of NATO because we did so many over the past 2 days. Twitter users speculated that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, seen right with Trump during this month's NATO summit in London the day after the infamous Gossipgate video emerged, may have had something to do with the deleted Home Alone 2 scene. Trudeau, center, Emmanuel Macron, second right, and Boris Johnson, right, were all caught on a hot mic at the Buckingham Palace NATO reception on December 3, appearing to gossip about Trump in an apparent impromptu lengthy press conference. He then blasted Trudeau as two-faced over Canada's payment towards NATO. Brad Trost, a former member of the Canadian Parliament from the opposition Conservative Party, tweeted, defund CBC. Now, the CBC is paid for by Canadian tax dollar, yet they continually get away with this politically charged bias, he wrote. Ryan Fournier, a Trump supporter, tweeted, CBC TV in Canada has cut Donald Trump's Home Alone 2 cameo out of their broadcast. They're so triggered by him that they had to edit him out of the film. Absolutely pathetic. Another Twitter user wrote, the CBC is making headlines for deleting Trump from Home Alone 2, just another reason to aired. It's not about whether you like Trump, which I don't, tweeted one Twitter user. For the CBC to edit an iconic movie to make a petty political point not only show bias, it shows over-the-top stupid and dangerous bias. CBC cut Trump's cameo out of Home Alone 2 on Christmas Eve. Another Twitter user tweeted, CBC is also state-funded. See how quickly liberalism, socialism, becomes communism. Chinese President Xi Jinping would be proud. Another Twitter user wrote, I'm not a Trump fan, but it's CBC's decision to edit his cameo from Home Alone 2 was petty and Bush League. Our nanny state broadcast's explanation that the edit and omission was to allow commercials is laughable and unbelievable. On the other hand, a number of Trump critics on Twitter were downright giddy. George Conway, the conservative lawyer and husband of Trump aide Kellyanne Conway, has been one of the president's harshest critics. He seemed to take delight in the CBC's omission. Another Twitter user responded to Conway, writing, this Canuck is proud. Another Twitter user wrote, the true north strong and free. That is a line from Canada's national anthem, Oh Canada. An anti-Trump Twitter user wrote, great, now the movie is no longer rated R. On the same day Home Alone 2 aired in Canada, President Trump, seen above on Tuesday at Mar-a-Lago, talked about his role in the film during a video call with U.S. soldiers serving overseas. On the other hand, a number of Trump critics on Twitter were downright giddy. George Conway, the conservative lawyer and husband of Trump aide Kellyanne Conway, has been one of the president's harshest critics. He seemed to take delight in the CBC's omission of the Trump scene from Home Alone 2. You see, senators, it's not that hard, Conway jokingly tweeted on Thursday. Conway is apparently urging senators to vote to convict Trump and remove him from office at the end of the upcoming impeachment trial. Trump is just the third U.S. president in history to be impeached by the House of Representatives. Another Twitter user responded to Conway, writing, "This Canuck is pro." An anti-Trump Twitter user wrote, "Great, now the movie is no longer rated R." One person wrote, "The true north strong and free." That is a line from Canada's national anthem, O Canada. Trump on Tuesday made mention of the film during a telephone call with American soldiers overseas. A sergeant asked the president if Home Alone 2, Lost in New York is his favorite Christmas movie. "Well, I'm in Home Alone 2, Trump said of the 1992 classic, and was met with laughter from the group on the video call. "A lot of people mention it every year, especially around Christmas," Trump said of the movie. "They say, especially young kids, they say, 'I just saw you on the movie.' They don't see me on television as they do in the movie. But it's been a good movie and I was a little bit younger, to put it mildly." He continued to laughter and lauded the success of the film, and it was an honor to do it. And it turned out to be a very big hit. Obviously, it's a big Christmas hit, one of the biggest. So it's an honor to be involved in something like that. You always like to see success. Read more. Let's block ads.